Hello and welcome to this recorded seminar for History 1301. This seminar is divided into three main parts. The first part will be finding resources and source citations. This will be coming from not only the catalog to find print books and ebooks, but also the databases to find articles and streaming videos. The next part will be focusing in on formatting an MLA style paper. And then the last part will be dealing with how to get help from the library. So let's go ahead and begin. I'm going to start with the databases. So if I bring my mouse to where it says Academics, and then under Library, I'm going to start with Databases. Now when you click on the Databases link, it brings you to this page. And what you're seeing are subject headings that you can use to focus in on databases specifically geared towards your subject. The research that I'm wanting to do for this seminar is on the French and Indian Wars that occurred before the American Revolution. So I'm going to click on History and Geography. A good database to start with is JSTOR. Now, when you first log on to the databases, you're going to come to the database login screen. The instructions for logging in are given here at the top. Your username will be a lowercase c followed by the first 7 digits of your CTC ID number. Your password will be your first and last initials in capital letters followed by your 6-digit birth date. That's 2-digit month, 2-digit day, the last 2 digits of your birth year. So let me go ahead and log in. And I'm going to type in my topic of French. And as I start typing, you'll notice that there is a type ahead that is beginning to appear. And you'll notice I have title, publications, or I can just search for images too. So I have a number of items that I can search for and just tell it to search. Now, you'll see where it says like the journal title. You can download, you can save, and you can also get the citation for it. When you click on the article title, this is what you'll get. You'll get a PDF file, and this will be it right here. And you can download the article. You also have related text that you may find useful for your research. So basically you can find an awful lot of information just from doing a simple search. Now then, up here where it says Cite, when you click on that, it gives you opportunities to select different citation styles. MLA is the top, Chicago is the second, and then you have APA. If your professor says that you're needing to do Chicago for your style, you'll need to ask whether it is the note bibliography or the author date style. This appears to be the note bibliography style that they're using, so you do need to be aware of that. Most of the time, though, you'll be using the MLA style, and so all you have to do is copy that, and then just bring up your document, and then paste it in, and I'll show you how to configure or format your source citations a little later on. So we have that. You will also have the permalink, or what's known as the stable URL, and I believe that is included in the source citation. Yes, it is. Sometimes you'll have something that will say remote accessed, and if you have something like that, then you want that one instead. but you can share it, and this would allow you to share it to your email, and that way you can email the article to yourself, and it will be probably as an attached PDF file. What's nice is it does give you the page numbers that are available there. So that's JSTOR. Now, if I go back a bit to the results, I can limit my results by indicating that I only want journal articles, or there are book chapters here. So I can go and see what those look like. And this may give you some information about what's going on with that. And so there may be additional information. Now, down here, there is a find subject. And you'll notice that there are some subjects that you can use to narrow things down a bit more. If I were to come in here and say find a subject and put in French and Indian wars, it will find just those subjects. And sometimes what you need to do is a little bit of persuasion, and it says nothing found. Okay. What you might do is look like American Indian Studies and see what you're getting there. And some of these may or may not do what you're wanting to do. I've had dubious luck with the subject categories, but you can also go and put in maybe a date range. But you can use this for finding information. If you want history, you can go like that, and sometimes you can do things a little easier. You can also go and say, show me just the English ones, and all like that. So you have the ability of doing that. You might look at like material encounters and indigenous transformations in the early colonial Americas. This is a book chapter, and there may be information in it. What's nice is you do have a search within the document. So if you've got keywords, you might be able to find your information here. I'm going to go ahead and pick this up as a citation and put it into my paper. Now, as you're building your works cited list, a good practice to do is to paste things in alphabetical order by the author's last name or by the title if there is not an author. So I have now 2 items here, and what I can do then is minimize this, close that. Let's try a different database, and we have here we go. We have the academic video online, the Alexander Street. This is a good resource to use for a lot of items. And you just click on the search button up here and type in your keywords. And you might want to put like a quote mark, because this will pick up things like documentaries. And let's see what we got. It found 34 videos, and we have maybe the Road to Revolution. And so sometimes you get lucky right away. Other times you have to do a little bit of sort of searching. And so this will have a number of items, but it does not look like it has anything that I'm looking for. Again, what I can do is I can go back to my main search feature. Let's try that again. And sometimes you do not need, sometimes you'll find items, and sometimes you don't, but it's always a good thing to look at and see what there is. And this is picking up, that one looks more like it's dealing with British and India. And so there does not seem to be anything here. But you do have Canada and the American Revolution. And this may be something to look at. And then you also have Making a Revolution. So you can come and take a look at this one, and it will give you an idea of what this is dealing with. You can use the play feature, and you'll see where it says transcript. You have the transcript over here, and it gives you the timestamps on the video. What you can do is you can actually highlight the entire transcript and then copy it into a Microsoft Word document. If you cite material from a video, it's a good idea to get the timestamp with it so that when you put your in-text citation in, you have something that you can use. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my mouse up here and just, hang on a minute, get it to highlight the whole transcript. That seems to be working. And then I'm going to tell it to copy. And then I'm going to bring up my document and I'm going to insert a page break. I'm going to put the transcript in there. That way I have it for reference. And I have all of this information about it. And it seems to be complete. And then what I can do is right here, I can come back to my video, and there is a cite tool that if I go back to the video that I was at, there it is there's a cite tool, and I can copy that cite. What's nice about the cite tool is that it will remember the source citation format that you want if you're doing a lot of material with this. Now you have also a notation here for Chicago A and Chicago B. Those are probably referring to whether it's the author bibliography, or I'm sorry, the author date format, or if it's the note bibliography format. And you want MLA 9, and then you just copy the source citation and add that to your list. So you can see it's very easy to actually add materials to your works cited list. And what I'm going to do is down here with the transcript, I am going to come and add this here so that I know where that came from. Okay, so I've got a couple of items already. Let me come back here, and I'm going to do what's known as a little bit of power searching. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to close that tab and come here to my A to Z listing of databases. If I come down to where it says Gale Power Search, this is a good platform to use, and you have access to all of these different files. Now you may not want to search everything there, so what you can do is come here and select all and then deselect all. Then pick up the academic 1 file, maybe the general 1 file. You have eBooks over here, maybe biographies, college, and then down here I have one for U.S. history, and then maybe military and intelligence. So I can pick up different databases by selecting the ones that I'm wanting. And then I can come up here to where it says the search and then type in French and watch what happens. I've got some type aheads coming in, and you'll notice I have French and Indian War. Now this one has the words capitalized, so I'm going to select that because that's going to be full of a lot of information. And it'll execute my search. This gives me 118 magazines. There are academic journals. I have ebooks, actually chapters in ebooks. There are newspaper articles, and I have images as well. Now, depending on what I'm looking for, I can come here to maybe publication date. Maybe I want only items that are within the last 5 or so years. I can come here to the publication date. There are some presets to be aware of. There's the past week, past month, past year. But if you want more than, say, everything, what you can do is just come here and click on the first box, change the month to January. Let's go back about 5 years to 2019, and then click on the first day of the month. That puts the date into that first box. Then just come here to the second box and go ahead and click on the last day of the month. What you may also want to do, because some August articles might be coming out already, we can go and say make it the end of the next month and then tell it to apply. That brings us down considerably. Now, if I don't want a date, I can come here and change it by clicking off that filter, and that takes me back a step. Now, these other boxes that you see over here, the subjects allows me to narrow my focus down. As you can see right at the top, it says French and Indian Wars, and I can click on that, and it takes me down. The other way of doing that, if I'm looking for something specific, I can say maybe search within and type in keywords of French. And I could then add Indian. And looks like everything is coming out. I can also look at document type. I can look at articles. I can look at biographies, cover stories, interviews. There might be a chronology here, some essays, personal accounts. So these are things that you can use to filter your results very nicely. A word about articles and brief articles. Brief articles are usually only maybe about a paragraph in length. They're not very big, just a few lines. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and use this subject and say French and Indian Wars. That brings me down a lot. Now, your professor may want you to use only academic journals. And so what I can do is click on academic journals, and that will show me only those items that were published in an academic setting. For instance, you have maybe the Chronicle of Philanthropy. You'll have other types of things. Now, sometimes you'll have like the Southern Review. Sometimes these will be book reviews that you'll have, but they may be very in-depth. But this one here, New Perspective on an Old War, when I click on that title, what I have are related subjects here. Sometimes, there it is, there'll be other articles similar in nature that you can use. And you have maybe an embedded journalist that's reporting on the French and Indian War that took place. Your keywords are in red. Now, some of the icons that you're seeing up here, this is a translate feature. So if English is not an easy language for you to read, or you're practicing your foreign language skills, you can click on the translate feature, and then you have a listing of about 25 different languages that you can translate this into. And this is in Russian now. If I want to go back to my original language, I just click on back to the original language. For some people, they need the font either smaller or larger. These two icons change the size of the font. For those people that have reading disabilities, a white background can sometimes be very hard on the eyes. So you can change it to gray or peach or to green. Or you can change the font or the line, letter, or word spacing. And if you're on your own computer, what you do is you set it to where it's easy for you to read and then click on Done, and it will remember your settings. This next feature here is a listen feature, and what it does is it will read the article to you. And as it does, it will highlight the sentence and each individual word as you go along. What's also nice is the three bars that you see over here on the left. There is the ability to download this article to your computer, your phone, your tablet, laptop as an MP3 file so that you can listen to it as you go along. So you do have that. Now, the icons here on the right, these two allow you to upload it either to your Google Drive account or to your OneDrive account. Just remember to be logged into your Google or OneDrive account, because if you're not and you upload it to Google or OneDrive, it will go to the library's account. Then, of course, you can email this to yourself, you can download it directly to your computer, or you can print it out. Up here at the top, you have a citation tool, and then you have a send. This could be either as email or uploading it to Google or to OneDrive, download, printing. The get link is to get the permalink. And the permalink, I'll show you what that looks like here in just a minute. But what I can do is I can come here and click on the Cite tool. It defaults to MLA, but you also have the ability to go to APA or Chicago. This particular instance, it looks as if this might be the note bibliography format rather than the author date. But again, your paper may be in MLA, but just make sure that you know which style you're using, because Chicago especially, there are two formats to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this and copy it, and then come here to my document and then paste it in. Now when you add a source, you'll notice that this particular item has an initial article of A. Initial articles A, an, and the are ignored for the purposes of alphabetizing. So this will be alphabetized under the letter N for new. So that's how you find stuff with the Gale platform. Now this get link, this is the permalink for that particular article. You can copy it, but the only real difference between the permalink and the URL that is supplied is the HTTPS. That's the only difference between the two. And so you can go and highlight information here and then just paste that in. And you'll see the HTTPS. Like I say, the only difference, you could probably just type that part in and get the same effect as well. So that's Gale. Now let's go into one other little database that I missed earlier, and that's the Films on Demand. Films on Demand is another streaming video database, and if I put in French and Indian wars, you have it'll pick up like Indian wars, and sometimes what you need to do is put parentheses around your terms in order to get that string found. And it says nothing was found. So this may be something that it's good to look at, but sometimes you'll find some information, maybe not all. Yeah, let's just see what happens when I take out the and. No, it's picking up. You might have, this might be part of it, is like the Battle of Quebec may have taken place during this time period. What you will find is there's a transcript over here. This allows you to download the transcript as a PDF file. If you come to the segments, you'll see like the start of the war in New France. And so you might take a look at some of these things because there was actually more than one French and Indian wars that took place. And so this may be part of that, something that would have led up to it. And then what you can do is you have the source citation. It defaults to MLA. And then again, like there's some Chicago manual style. This one is in, I believe, the author date format. So if you need the note bibliography, then you'll need to do some changing. But this is MLA, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight that and copy it and paste it right into my paper. Again, there's an initial article, and I'm going to ignore that because it'll follow under B for battle. Now, a little word of note here. The URL that is given here is a generic Films on Demand URL. What you need to do is come up here to the top to the URL box, and this is where you'll find the permalink. So what you do is just copy that and put it in here, and then tell it to paste. And now, Films on Demand is, hang on a minute, let me redo that. There we go. Films on Demand is the name of the database. It is italicized, and this looks like it's actually incorrect order. But we'll check on that a little bit later on. But this is what makes this the permalink, is this easyproxy.ctcd.edu. And so that's going to allow your reader to find this video very easily. So that's how you find material using our databases. As you can see, it's quite a bit. Now if I come back to the library, let's go into the catalog. Now the catalog, when I type in my keywords of French and Indian wars, this allows me to find print books, eBooks. I can also find articles and streaming videos. Now, I'll warn you right now, some of the articles and eBooks that you'll see listed are linked to databases that we no longer have. So it's always better to use the databases for some of the electronic material. But you can come here and use a limiter like for books, so that you're not looking at 1,300 items. And then if you want print books, you can select looks like I selected just eBooks. So what I can do, like this is French and Indian Wars. This is an ebook. I can click on the link, and this is what I was talking about, is there are some links to ebooks as well that go to our EBSCO host. We used to have a subscription to EBSCO. We do not have that anymore. So what you might do is, let's take a look at this one. This is from our ProQuest eBook Central. And now ebooks can be read online, they can be downloaded, which is the same thing as checking it out. You can download specific chapters, It will tell you how many you can download at a particular time, and then how many pages you're available to copy, and like that. What's also nice is it gives you a source citation. And it has the option of, and this actually tells you if it's notes, bibliography, or author date for Chicago. But we're going to leave this at MLA. This gives us the source citation. I can highlight this, copy it, bring up my item, and put this up here like that. And then I can go back to my database and close it. Now, when I'm here in the table of contents, I can click on any of these items, and then I can maybe see what there is from the table of contents. Let's say I want something for Virginia, and I can tell it to search. I can do a keyword search in the book, and it will tell me which chapters information about my keyword will be found. And the longer the line, the more information I have. So if I click on a particular one, I have this right here, and it highlights the words that I'm searching on. And this also will give you, like, if you're interested in archaeology or fort architecture, you have a nice little blueprint right here. Now the icons up here, this is your full book download, your chapter download. Sometimes you just need a little piece, and so what you can do is just copy and create an electronic note card for yourself. And what's nice is it gives you the source citation down below. If I come back here to where it's got the print icon, this prints a page or range of pages or chapter to a PDF file, and it will put the source citation at the bottom of each page. So I have that as well. And then I can also get the permalink as well, and this is already included in my source citation, so I don't really need to do that. If I close this off, and then instead of eBooks, I want print books. You have like this, the War That Made America, a short history of the French and Indian War. This will give you the call number. It will tell you if it's available. And up here, it has a citation. You just select your citation style. This again will show you, like, for Chicago, author date or note bibliography, and then what I want is the MLA 9th edition, and then I can just copy this information into my source citation, and a couple little corrections and I'm good. I can also, if I take off the books, something else about for print books, and this is something for people that are not in the Fort Cavazos, Killeen area. If you scroll down to the very bottom, you'll see where it says availability and holdings, other libraries worldwide. You can put in a city, state, or zip code for any location in the world. For instance, if I put in, say, London, England. This tells me it's at the University of Birmingham. I can view their catalog, and it gives me a map to show me where that particular library is. So I do have that. If I click on the name, it gives me their address and their phone number. And then sometimes, like I say, I can also click on their catalog and search that as well. So I can do that. And then if I come back to my results list, and now earlier I had difficulty finding videos on the French and Indian Wars. What I can do is down here I have e-videos. So if I don't find anything going directly into the databases, I can come here. There's the 7 Years' War and the Great Awakening, and it's also referred to as the French and Indian Wars. And that happens sometimes, that wars that were fought in the North American continent, there was also a corresponding war in Europe at the same time. And so there might be a corresponding European name for something that we know as like the French and Indian Wars. So you have various things like this. But what we can do is, for this particular one, I can say View Now. This is actually going to the Alexander Street database, and so I could pick up this information as well. Just pick up the site and the transcript. So that's how you would do stuff. Now, as far as the catalog goes, it's fairly easy to use. You can also limit by year of publication, or by subject, or by databases. And sometimes this will give you some additional information as well. So that is the searching of the catalog and the databases. Let's go into formatting an MLA style paper. Now that I have material, let's go and format it. Well, I've got some sources here, but chances are your professor may say that you need to have it in Times New Roman size 12 font. So what you do is very simply just do a Control A. That highlights the entire document. Then do a right mouse click. Come down here to Font. And then let's see what happens. We go say TIM. I bring up Times New Roman, regular, size 12. I'm going to set this as the default font for my document and say OK. And now everything in my document should be in Times New Roman size 12. The other thing I'm going to do is my paper needs to be in what's referred to as, actually I need to have it double spaced. So I'm going to take out some of these extra lines because that will affect things. And do another Control A. And then up here in the paragraph setting, I'm going to make this double. And that takes care of my line spacing. Now the works cited, this is probably also true with the Chicago, is your sources will need to be in what's referred to as a hanging indented format. Now the way you do that is you just highlight your sources and then do a right mouse click, come here to paragraph, and under special there are two options. You're going to choose the hanging indentation and say OK. And that puts this into the hanging indented format very nicely for you. Now, a couple of items of note with your source citations. You want to make sure in MLA that it's in title case. And what that means is that significant words are capitalized. Words like the, a, of are not, unless they're the first word of the title or the first word of the subtitle. So this is all right. And what you might want to do is just add people's names that are underlined in red. Now, titles of books are italicized. Titles of videos or articles are enclosed in quotes. Database names are always italicized. And sometimes you'll have like the Anderson Street, that's the name of the database, and that should be italicized. Let's see, this one here. Now, the access date is not needed if there is a publication or copyright date. So in this case, we'll just go and say access date can be removed. Same thing here. The access date is not needed, but there is a period that is needed after the URL. And very good. So the access date, again, I do not need that because I do have a publication date after that. And so this should be, whoops, looks like I took out too much. So that's your work cited in MLA style format. Okay, now this one here, the Canada and American Revolution, I'm going to bring that one back up because I'm needing to know whether or not that has a publication date. And that's interesting that that cannot be found. So let me go and do this. It was found through the catalog, and we may have to come back to it. There we go. And sometimes you do need to go back, and this has a date of 69. So that date is going to come right here. And that will complete my information. If I couldn't find a date, then I would put after the URL the access date. So that is that information there. Okay, so let's go up to the top here. Now up here at the top, this is where you're going to have your name, your professor's name, the course name or course number, and then the date. And it's always in day, month, year format. The month is always spelled out. Now, the header for an MLA style paper, if you come up here to the Insert tab and click on Header, choose the first blank, and then come over here to Page Number, choose Top of Page, and then the third option. That'll put the page number flush with the right margin. And then you just type in and that's all you do. That's all that's needed here is just your last name and then the page number. And then just close the header and you're done. That's all there's needed for your header. Now, when you're typing your paper, the first line of each new paragraph is indented 1/2 inch in from the left margin. Now, the tab key on your keyboard is set up to do 1/2 inch increments automatically. But if you're typing away and you hit the caps lock key instead, you'll be typing in all capital letters. So what you can do with that is you do a right mouse click, come here to paragraph, and under special, use the first line option and then say OK. That automatically moves your typing cursor over 1/2 inch, and then you just begin typing. You don't worry about hitting the enter key because the computer takes care of the carriage return line feed for you. When you need a new paragraph, you just hit the enter key and it tabs in for the next paragraph. And that's how you do or set up an MLA style paper. Now let's talk about in-text citations. In-text citations are nothing more or less than pointers to your source citations in your works cited list, or your bibliography or your references list. That's all they are, is just a pointer. Generally speaking, they are at the end of the sentence and before the period. So if I've got something like this, where I've got material that I'm referencing from a particular source, what I will do is I'll put, the easiest one is the parenthetical in text citation. So it's just parentheses, and in this case, nice simple one, Anderson, the author's last name. A space, and then the page number, just like that. That is the most common form of in-text citations that you'll have. Now, when do you use them? Well, they're used anytime you have a direct quote, you're paraphrasing, summarizing, or including statistical information. If you say that 53% of the people that eat M&M candies prefer the red M&M candies over the green M&M candies, that's a statistic that had to have come from somewhere. And so you need to put in your source. If you've got material that you're paraphrasing or summarizing, let's say you've got maybe 2 paragraphs of very pertinent information, and you put that into a sentence that summarizes that material, you put in an in-text citation. If you've got maybe a couple of sentences and you want to paraphrase what those sentences say, again, in one sentence, you'll have the in-text citation for that sentence. So anything that is not your common that is not common knowledge, or that is not your original thought, must be cited. So that's how the easiest ones are. Now we've got some other ones that we have, and I'm going to put in some examples in here. For instance, I've got this one here. It's a title of a book. There is not an author. So you don't go and say, oh yeah, I'll put Babbitt's. I'm not going to put Babbitt's and Gandula as my authors. No, you use this information here when there is no author. You use the first 1 to 3 words of the title. And when you have an initial article, as is the case here, you include that. And because this is italicized, the in-text citation isn't italicized. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here, and my in-text citation will look like this. And this was maybe on page 68. So if I have page numbers from the source, I include them. Now if I come down here, I have this Battle of Quebec. Let's see, the Canada and American Revolution. Let's use that one here. I have this transcript here. And when you have a transcript, let's say I'm quoting from this particular part here. Let's see, 2.4. What your in-text citation for that one is going to be just Canada. And I'm just going to go and put in the information. And because this is in quoted, it's going to be like that, then a space, and then it's going to be 00 colon 02 colon 40. So for a video, if you have the transcript with the timestamp, you put in the timestamp for the section that you're quoting. Now, the other video that I have is from Films on Demand. This Battle of Quebec. I don't have timestamps for it, so what I can do is this. MLA says provide the information that you have. And then I'm just going to provide that. And that's all my in-text citation will look like. Now then, I've got one here that has the letters et al. After the author's name. Et al. Is a Latin abbreviation that means and others. And when I have something like that, I'm going to use the author's last name and include the et al. With that. So I'm going to have my in-text citation will look like this. And then I'll have a comma, et al, space, and this was from an article, so it was on maybe page 25. And that's how that will look. And that's how you format different types of in-text citations that you might run across. Okay, let's talk about getting help from the library. And close this. Now then, one of the ways of getting help, the easiest way, is to come into the library and say, I need help. I'm working on a research paper. The staff at the front desk are trained to show you how to get into the databases, how to do basic searches. If you need more in-depth assistance, ask them to request a librarian's assistance, and one of us will come out and assist you. If you're not able to come into the building, you can actually use the Ask a Librarian feature. This is a little form. You'd fill it in and put in your question. I'm working on a paper. I'm doing research on this particular topic. What are some keywords I can use? What are some databases I could use? And what we'll do is we'll send you back some information to help you get started. And then when you submit it, you should get a response back from the library within 24 hours. When the library is open, that time frame is actually a lot shorter. It can be anywhere from a few minutes to a couple of hours. But on days that we're closed, like during the summer, we're closed Fridays and Saturdays, there is somebody on call that their job is to review anything that comes into the inbox and to respond to it. So it's a very fast turnaround time. If I scroll down here a little bit, come to the Contact Us, this will give you our direct email address. This is what the Ask a Librarian feature feeds into. And then you have our local and in-state and out-of-state toll-free telephone numbers. Okay, and then down here we have a live chat and text chat feature. The live chat, you just type in your question, and within a couple of seconds to a couple of minutes, you should have a response back from the library. Now, if for some reason it takes longer than that, it's possible that the person has been called away from the desk and did not change the availability setting. If that's the case, leave the tab open, because as soon as that's found, it will be answered. Now, you also have the option of sending us a text message with your cell phone at 254-400-2275. And what you will get will be a response, a text response back. By the way, the chat is with a live human being and not a chat bot. Then if I come up here, you have some video tutorial guides. These are being updated, but you'll see information in here like how to format an APA paper. There's like a citation resources tutorial. There's one here for MLA. And then we're updating our seminars on demand. This is where you'll find the History 1301 video. And then if I come back here and click on, come up here a little bit, they request a seminar or appointment. There are people that have watched our recorded seminars or have taken the live seminars, either in class or virtually, and still have difficulties because we make it look easy, but we've been doing this for a while. So you can actually come here and request a seminar or appointment. What that does is it allows you to have a one-on-one session with a librarian. Now, if you leave it at no preference, the computer system will choose the first available librarian. My two colleagues, Mr. Garcia and Miss Oser, they do theirs in person at the library only. I am the virtual services librarian, so when you click on my name and then click on a date, a time, and then continue, you'll put in your name, your email address, and then you have three options available to you. In person at the library, over the phone, basically what you do is you call the library, you're on your computer, I'm on my computer, and together we're doing the same process, and that way I can talk you through it. And then the online WebEx meeting, what that is I send you an online link and then make you the presenter so that I can see what's on your screen and help you through what you're dealing with. When you click confirm appointment, what that will do is send you and the librarian selected an email confirming that an appointment has been requested for this date, this time, and in my case, it will tell me which one of those three options you're wanting. So you do have that. The research study guides, these are topical pages that you can use. And if you come here and click on History 1301, you'll see the link for the seminar on demand. And chances are this one may be actually a little bit more up to date than the video link for the time being. We're in the process of updating it. This one usually gets done first. There's also an MLA sample paper that you can download, and actually what it is, it's like an annotated instructions and information for how to set up your paper, how to do in-text citations, and some basics with the works cited. So you do have that. There is also, if I type in MLA, there is a place here that you can come and watch a video on formatting an MLA style paper. Now, the MLA sample paper and format guides, there's a link here to the quick style guide, and then down below it are detailed citation formats. And you can scroll down through the table of contents and see what you're looking for. So if you've got like a book with 3 or more authors, you just find that, click on it, and it will take you right to that part of the item. And it will tell you what the works cited is and the corresponding in-text citations, both parenthetical and narrative. So this is something that you do have available to you. The research paper that you're seeing over here, this is an honest-to-God research paper. Nope, this is the detailed instructions that I was telling you about. And then when I open it, it will look like this. And it gives you, again, the formatting, title page, and it will tell you exactly what you need to do. It's written out instructions on how to do stuff. And then if I come back to this, there's actually a sample research paper that you can click on and see what one looks like. This one was written for HRPO 1311, but it will have information. It will show you how to do real examples of in-text citations, timestamps and stuff like that. So this is available as well. All right, if I come back a little bit, the citation resources, this is where you'll find the Purdue Online Writing Lab. We have our citation style guides. There's one here for MLA. And it looks like this is the older version of it. So the newer version is on that LibGuide. But we also have two here for Chicago. One for the author date and the note bibliography. And what these will do is it will show you how to put together your cover page, how to do in-text citations, and your references. And then the note bibliography one, again, has cover page, in-text citations, endnotes, and how to handle your formatting. And so it does give you a bit of information on that. Rightio, let's come back here, and then to sort of close things off, before you turn your paper in to your professor or your discussion boards for that matter, what you can do is come here to the research paper review. Research paper review is the library's proofreading service. And this is something that we do 24/7, 365, quite literally. We've had papers that have come in before midnight, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day morning. The research paper review has been done and returned. So it is, as we say, 24/7, 365. Now, what you want to do is send the final draft version of your paper as a Microsoft Word attached file to teaching.learning@ctcd.edu. Now, I will stress as an attached Microsoft Word, or it could be a rich text format. If you send your paper as a link from SharePoint or Google Drive or OneDrive, what happens is when we click on the link, it is going to ask us for your username and password, and we cannot open that. Same thing is going to be true if you send it to us as a PDF file. We run your paper through Grammarly, and that means that we have to be able to copy and paste your document into Grammarly, and that does not translate very well from a PDF file. Plus, it makes putting in the bubble comments that we put in a little on the difficult side. So what you'll get back from us, you'll get the grammar report from Grammarly, but you'll also get a bubble comments report from us. We look at your paper for readability, flow, logic, and we look at your in-text and source citations and the overall formatting of your paper. And we'll put bubble comments in the right margins. Now, if we also happen to see information that we believe is factually inaccurate or that is misleading, then we'll put a bubble comment and tell you to do maybe a little bit of research on this and maybe give you some background there that you may not be aware of. But our goal is to help you get the best grade on your paper. Now, these are suggestions, guidance, information, or instructions. You have the ability to go and say, I don't care, I like what I've got, and leave it. You can ignore our suggestions, that's fine, that's up to you. But those that have followed our instructions have come back and told us that they got a much higher grade on their paper because of the information. Now, the turnaround time for the research paper review is within 24 hours. When we're open, that can be like 20 minutes to maybe a couple of hours. On days that we're closed, that can be within a few hours of our sending it. So you should get something back within 24 hours. So that is what we have to offer. If your professor has requested a post-seminar survey to follow to verify that you watched this particular seminar, you can request that. The information will be submitted to you with the seminar request, and it will also be shown at the end of this video. Okay, thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing your papers.